Prashi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
All right. Okay. So Prashi, just to give you some background, I have a group of students here still in undergrad school, primarily fresh graduates and undergrad students, which was not so long ago where you found yourself in a similar boat. So why don't you quickly give a brief kind of introduction? And guys, by the way, Prashi is an admit to Columbia's Deferred MBA program. Maybe you can quickly give us a background. What got you? Why did you choose that program? And we'll talk about the journey as well.
Okay. So initially, I was just purely focused on Indian colleges, and I was preparing for CAT. I was also applying to ISB. That is why I gave the GMAT. At the back of my mind, I knew that I wanted to apply to top colleges abroad, but I did not think my GMAT was good enough. So I had a 740, but I kind of thought that I would need probably a 760 or plus. So I did not really think of applying to any colleges abroad. It was only until later, about 15 days till the deadline of Columbia Business School, that I decided to apply because I did not really want to have any regrets down the line. That is when I reached out to you, and I got all the help on my application as well. And Columbia Business School had also come to my college to market its program. And that is when I got to know that there's a program called Deferred MBA at Columbia Business School. And that is when I decided that, this is a program that I would really want to apply to one day. And that
Excellent.
is how I decided to apply.
Excellent. And now let's just get into the nuts and bolts of it. How was the application process? What were the challenges you faced? Hopefully, where did I add value? Can you pacify a lot of the students here who are worried about the same thing? Oh, can I get into Columbia? What were the challenges? How did you overcome? How is it navigable? Just why don't you introduce students to that, and hopefully where I added value?
Yes, the application process is not very complex. I'd say there were approximately just 3 essays with about 300 words to write in each of them. And the questions were also quite general. I think that anyone can write those essays. And Autry sir was always just one call away. He would let me know what kind of strategy I would need to use to write a particular essay. I would write a draft and I would call him up. And I specifically remember I wrote my first draft and sir was like, no, this is a no-go. You need to write it again. And he told me exactly what not to include in the application and what the admission committee really cares about. It was an iterative process, yes. And it was quite hectic for a 15-day
yes. So Prashi, just to give, so imagine guys, so many students are worried about but one can say that even in 15 days, if with the right kind of strategy and right advice, absolutely possible, right? We have a student sitting right here who's been there, done it. In fact, can I say one of the main challenges is the questions, the essays that one has to write in these applications, because they're fairly generic, to actually stand out. Do you feel you need a very targeted kind of advice and strategy, or would you say that is the main crux of it or not? What do you think? Like what I mean is, the essay itself will ask you, why do you want to do an MBA? So when you approach something like that, Prashi, did you feel like the advice I gave you in terms of, this is what the school is looking for, understanding that psyche and therefore finding those aspects of your story that stands out? Do you feel that made all the difference or not?
I think that did. If I were to write my application alone, I would have gone with the first draft I wrote. And I don't think it included all the points that the school was looking for. Autry sir was, really instrumental in letting me know, that, this is something that you should not write. And this is something that the school really cares about. So,
excellent. Yeah. I'm getting loads of questions. So one student has asked, can I apply for deferred MBA after I graduate? No, you cannot. The whole concept of deferred MBA is you still have to be in college. If you've graduated, you look at those masters in management and other programs that I talked about. Yes. Prashi, why don't you tell us about your last 1 year? You got in last year. How has it been for you? Writing Columbia on your resume. I know you changed your role as well. You changed your firm. Why don't you tell the students about the value and deferred admit can have on your resume, even before you join a school like Columbia, how transformative it can be. I want to inspire these students to look at these programs. Why don't you talk us through that aspect?
So Columbia is a great brand to have in a resume, even if you don't, even if you have not completed your MBA yet. And So it would really help you in employment opportunities and networking in general. So it definitely is a good brand to have. And in the 1 year of after graduating from college, Columbia has created a Slack channel wherein you can network with all the other admits, and there have also been select conferences which you can attend. And Columbia is also right now inviting students to visit college.
Excellent.
So
So one
I,
question I would like to ask you, sorry, I butted in. It just came to me. I forgot to ask Garvita, how many admitted students to when you got into that Columbia Deferred MBA? Student had asked me how many have gotten. Why don't you share that with the student in your Slack group? How many students are there from India? Just so students know how prestigious and coveted it is. Would you know that? Maybe you don't know from India how many, right?
I think approximately last year there were about 10 people.
Yeah, it's
But it
somewhere
could
in the
be
region
more.
of 5 to 10 guys to answer your questions. To all of these top schools, those who've been asking me how many students, 5 to 10 is what you're looking at. So it's not going to be easy, but yeah, it can be absolutely transformative. Anything, Prashi, I'm going to keep this short because I know someone else is also in the queue. We have a very packed agenda. Thank you so much for your time today. I know we're in touch. We're doing other things as well. So feel free to reach out, but thank you so much for giving us your time today.